I don't know. You guys okay with that? A little humming? It's the music.
I'm fine.
Yeah. Is it bother you?
No.
I don't hear
I
it.
always hear voices, so it's all right. No problem there. Is it working?
I don't know how to get rid of it.
Oh, how do you get rid of the thing on the right?
Yeah.
Is that Robert?
There's an X on the right.
There you go. You did it. All right. So let me show you first what Powerlister looks like. So you don't have to put it in anything. You're just going to print this out. But this listing presentation is really, really powerful. Paige Martin, if you went to the awards banquet. If you missed it, you missed a good party. At that party, our #1 agent again, for the 7th straight year, Paige Martin. Good agent. 61 million last year, previous year. In the 40s this year. Good agent. When she joined us from Martha Turner, I said, hey, can you help me design a listing presentation that is so good, brand new agents would be able to get listings away from you? She said, okay, let's do it. And she and 8 other top agents helped us build this. We've had new agents use this program, and they're getting listings left and right. It's like brand new agents who don't know what they're doing. And so we're gonna show you how to set it up. It's very, very easy because we chose to copy a top producer. There are 16 videos on kw.com that you can see of top listing agents that make $1 million a year or more. We decided to copy one of them, watch everything he did, and hire 2 programmers to create kwpowerlister.com. Now it's KW Powerlister Deluxe, but it's a URL. KW Powerlister Deluxe. And you'll see all this in a minute. You should already have a password for it. We'll give you that in a second. But basically, once you go in there, everything you need is going to be in there. You'll just do the bio on you, and you don't have to do a bio, but something that pops up every time. You know, I'm Lynn, and I love working with sellers, and I blah, blah, blah. I've been doing it for blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is, this prints out automatically. These pages will automatically come out, and you can choose your own as well. But it's got some things in here that are really, really powerful. And I'll take you through it. All right, so let's hop on. We're going into Powerlister Deluxe right now.
I didn't know if you wanted to show them the first video.
All right, let's start with Broussard. We've got volume here.
I believe so.
Okay.
For the power. Okay, so Michael, so
Uh-huh.
basically that binder that you just showed us, you're gonna show us how to set it up. We print it, we put it in our listing binder with their bio,
Sure.
and then we just put our CMA wizard.
You're
Is
going
that what
to
you're
put your
talking about?
CMA in there, and you're going to use something else called Claris Market Metrics, which is something I showed you when I met you, but you guys probably don't know how to use it yet. That's been super powerful. Right now, when our agents go on a listing presentation, the likelihood they get the listing is so much higher than it was before we had this. It's dramatic. You now have got an arsenal of tools for listings that are beat everybody. We'll show you how. So here's the presentation. I guess I'm going to move over here. First, okay, so we are going to show the Broussard.
Yeah, really. Is it better if we're signed in? Like,
You could be, but you're really not going to be navigating through because you've got to set up the pages, and so
okay.
it would be tough. So 16 people chose to do a video. KW, when you do $1 million in commissions to you after taxes, that's a pretty good agent doing about 50 million. We say, hey, would you let us know what you're so good at so we can have Gary Keller talk with you, or we can put in a film crew and watch you. That's what KW does, because we want you to learn from the best agents. I mean, imagine if you could be in Brandy's pocket all the time and see what Hekaroth does all the time. I mean, you're going to learn, right? But that's from one person. Here we have all the agents that make $1 million a year. What do they do specifically? So of the 16, we decided to copy this guy. We had 2 programmers watch everything we did 7 years ago when we created this. We'll just watch a minute of it. For sound.
yeah.
Okay, while we're at it, why don't we shut off others?
Oh,
Let's start. Okay. That's fine. Let's get over that 8 steps on how he lists properties. Alright, so let's cut it there. And if you listen to all 23 minutes, you hear what he said, and you can say, okay, that's not my style. You don't have to deliver like that. We don't care if you do, but you want the meat of what's in here. My number one agent in the office of listings, Wendy Klein, saw this and she's like, I'm going to do that. She's at 88 listings right now. We have 15 of them pending in that. So first off, how do you get into it? kwpowerlisterdeluxe.com. Hi. And then your username is KW email, there it is, and KW rocks, #1, and the K is capitalized. Now if you want to change that, you certainly can. If you have an issue with it, Oscar in our office will help you with that.
Okay, wait.
All right.
Oh, wait, can you go back?
Yeah.
Wait, maybe just, yeah. Okay.
All right, ready?
Yes.
All right, so now we're going to go to KW Powerlister Deluxe. Okay, we're going to show you how easy it is to set this up. Once you get the main setup done, when you go in every time you need to do a listing presentation, you're pretty much done. You're just putting in the new address, and it feels very custom. So let's go ahead and create a presentation.
If you guys are barely starting with, if you're barely getting your profile set up, what you want to do first is set up your agent profile. And that's just your name, office address, contact details, that type of stuff. And if you have a logo, for example, the Lux Living Properties team has a logo, you guys can put it there, and then your picture.
So we're on the main screen of KW Powerlister Deluxe. You can add your logo. We added that in the most recent piece because it's not about Keller Williams Memorial. We don't care. We're here to brand you, not us. We have to be on there because of Trek, but you are the prominent people in our company. So we messed around with the wall there. We can upload your photo very easily. Anything special about uploading the photo?
Not really, the size requirements are on the side in the yellow square.
So if it doesn't accept it, that just means the size was too big.
But we can just put the Keller Williams Realty Energy Corridor.
Yeah, you can do
Yeah,
that.
we can use that.
Well, actually, if you are at Energy Corridor, you should have, when you get your Power Lister and your login set up, you should be Energy Corridor branded already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so if we want to change anything on the left, we can update. Now, the next thing we do, now did you have to hit save or anything like that, Brenda?
No, not right
So from the main screen, all she did is put it in. Now we're going to put in market data. So you're going on a listing presentation. Give us an area that you've recently done a listing presentation.
For this?
No,
Oh.
we're going to go on the fly here and show you how easy it is to use this, or anybody who's had
Grayson Lakes.
Grayson Lakes. Okay. So number of active listings. Give me a rough idea of active listings in Grayson Lakes.
I don't know.
Let's go with 15.
Yeah,
All right. Number of pending, roughly
I think 3.
3.
Perfect. Yes, thank you.
Number of expired listings in the last 6 months. You could put whatever you want to put it. Up to 5.
Okay.
Up to whatever. Number of closed in the last 6 months.
Probably 30.
30. Okay. Now, what's our price in that area? Original list price of home sold. And you'll get all this in HAR. So this is the only data you have to put in, but it's going to put it out really nicely. So, what is the price point in there?
It's at 450.
Okay, let's go with 450. That's the average list, average sold.
Probably 450.
Okay, we'll go with it. So clearly that is going to be list to sales price 100%. In a future rendition, I know I'm going to have to do the math automatically.
Yeah.
Number of days on market roughly in Grayson?
25.
Okay, less than 30 days, 25. Average days on market for the actives. And you may or may not know that, but we can go with the same thing. Let's say 25. Okay. Now, again, she didn't put save there, did she? Because you can also add a letter. Now, the letter you don't have to add, but here's what you can say. Is that one already in there?
No.
Okay. So we used to have a staple in there, and you can put in whatever. I mean, here we got. Unlike most real estate professionals, I built my business on, and here's where you sell yourself. Okay, you put in whatever you want. You can have 2 sentences. I'm the person to sell your home. If I can't, no one can. I don't know. Whatever you're going to put. But here we put in something. Now, the about me. This is a tough one. It works for probably 5 to 10% of our agents because it's asking specifics and you don't want to leave one blank. Experience. Well, if you've got 3 years of experience or 2 years or 1 year, you really don't want to put that in there. If you've got 28, that's not bad. But then also technology. Well, I'm also certified in blah, 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 or I have the best technology or the best search engine optimization in Houston. Agents are putting that in because we have the best SEO. Expertise. I'm certified in, and you put your designations. Awards. Well, I was in the top team, or my office is the largest brokerage, or whatever you're going to put there. And my commitment to you is excellent service. But again, if you're relatively new or you haven't done that much, leave this page out. I'm going to show you what 6 agents did in a little bit here. Testimonials. Again, this one, unless you have 4, and the person giving them to you doesn't have the same last name as you, don't use this one. Okay, but you should omit this one. Otherwise, go ahead and put it in, and you got a maximum of 15 lines. Now, at this point, you click Save. And now the heavy lifting is done.
Yeah, that was only your agent profile, guys. You can also access it from here if you ever want to change it. And the only thing that's going to change from your agent profile ever is the market data part, because it's going to change depending on where the property is.
Right.
But everything else you can leave the same.
Right, your testimonials are going to be the same typically. The about me, everything would be the same except for that particular area you're doing a presentation for. But it prints out really clean. Now, let's create our listing presentation. So let's stick with our Grayson Lakes project. And you remember the address by chance?
1314 long draw. One word.
Long draw, like
DRAW.
one word. You type it, you were quick. All right, seller's name if you know it.
Cantu.
Cantu, C-A-N-T-U.
TU.
Okay. Seller's address.
Same.
Same, okay. And the project name doesn't have to be the address, but oftentimes it is. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and, do we want to use a logo or not? So include your own logo for co-branding. You want to pull it out?
Yeah, I want to pull it out.
But it's up to you. Now, if you are at Energy Corridor and you're licensed here, does it automatically go Energy Corridor for you?
Yeah, it'll have
you
the
can
logos down here.
Okay.
So you can co-brand, which means you can use your own logo and the KW logo, or you can just use KW. And then if you're part of international or luxury, it'll have this option there for you as well.
So if you haven't been approved for luxury, you haven't sold 2 homes over $500,000 in a 2-year period, and haven't taken a certified luxury class, that's typically good. Once we allow our Lori Moores, which is really good, or champions. One of those 2, then you go to click that button, otherwise it won't show up on yours.
Excuse me, which one is a good one to go to?
Lori, it's weird, the lady married someone with the same last name as her, so she's Lori Moore. Her class, I know, it's funky, but she's the best. Unfortunately, she retired, but they still have branded the class. I took Champions, but this blows it away. This lady knows everything about selling mega properties. She did one where the people couldn't sell this house in LA because it had a gun range underneath. So it was one that was silenced, but it was just awkward. It was for, like 14 million. They couldn't sell it. She comes in, makes one change, and they get 19 million for the place in about a week. She put in a recording studio instead of a gun range, and in LA that became, she knows what's going to sell. This is the class to take to really get your high-end properties sold. For marketing is incredible, so we want you to either take that one or Champions, and then you get that extra button.
Is it online or is it in person?
You can do it now online. You couldn't before. All right. So we're done with this one. What did we choose?
I think I'm just gonna show co-branding for,
Okay.
yeah.
Remember, you can add your brand, and it's there. And Lux has got a beautiful branding now. Put that on there. Now, agent details. Save and continue. Okay. Agent details, you put in your office information or whatever you want to use.
Yeah, so if you have to amend it, this is where you would do it if you wanna change anything about your info or anything like that. And then here's where you can also change the market data, so you don't always have to go back to your agent profile. It'll just prompt you right here under agent details.
So if nothing needs to be changed, hit save and continue here. Now, custom page is really cool. Anything you want to add here. Here's where you take a picture of the house ahead of time and it's in your presentation. So it looks really cool. You take a picture of the outside. If you have a picture of the inside, it's creepy. But here on the outside, how easy is that? If you have an extra day, because you're doing a listing presentation on Friday and today is Wednesday, you do that and it's already in there, it looks really cool. And it's got the same blending as the rest of it, it's the red streak on the left side. So you want to just add one in for the heck of it?
Sure, I don't know if I have any pictures saved in here.
We might not have any pictures saved in here. But when you do, yeah, because on our other one, we've got a million pictures. We haven't done this ever here before. Here's the different styles you have. You can just go with a straight pick, right? It can just be words. You can put whatever text you want in here. This again is your brand. Pick and text on top, pick and text on bottom. So really easy, those custom pages are great, and you get to save those if you need to use them over and over again. It's not a picture of the house, but something specific about you. It's there. Okay. And now, select presentation. So, we have everything that we showed in the other one here. It's going to go. Here I can pick all these different pages. Now, I want you to be cognizant of the fact that even though supposed to charge you 7 cents for black and white and 20 cents for color, we haven't been. We haven't been doing it for about 26 months, and the only KW that does it. I will eventually, but because we were ahead on the money and I'm not a nickel and dimer, I'm spending about $15,000 a month, 12 to 15 on copies. So be cognizant if you're going to just pick all of them. Look at the pages, make sure you like them. We have one agent who did an audit. One agent has done 20,000+ copies in the last 2 years, color, and a lot of times he just leaves them sitting there. And it kills me because I'm paying 20 cents every click. We're not charging yet, even though we talked, originally talked, we have it in there. But I want to keep that going, not charging. So take a look at the pages, make sure you like them. But here are the pretty cool. Let's show one on, just like on pricing, one of the triangles. Here you go. So in KW.com and KW Connect, they tell you how to price, what this triangle actually means. The first one, can we make that bigger? The F5,
I can't
control
make
it.
it bigger.
Do control F5, let's see if that helps. Nothing? Maybe smaller, okay. Well, this talks about your home is here and it should be priced, you showed them comps. If you go a little bit higher and you want to negotiate down, you're knocking out that group, that 60% that can afford your property, down to about 25% that are going to actually be looking. You're knocking out 3/4 of the market just like that, and there's a great way to explain it. In that Bruce Hardy video that I showed you in the beginning, he goes into depth about this stuff, about his pricing. You can pick whatever you want. There's several on pricing, several on why they should pick you, or you can just do the Bruce Hardy. So you have two choices. Take a look here. It says KW Standard Presentation. That's any one of the or all, if you want to include them all. or the scripted presentation. That Australian guy that you heard speaking in the beginning, since we copied everything we did, we also had everything he said, step by step, laid out in here. And at the end even, it will give you a script of what he said to that lady, word for word. So if you want to just make it easy, that's the easy. So that's the Bruce Hardy script. Remember he did the 8 things he was going to do for? We gave it to you. What he said to that lady. If you just hit that button, it'll give you all the pages he uses as well. It's cookie cutter. And you can add your own custom pages too. So let's see what that presentation looks like for Grayson Lakes.
And then guys, I was just gonna say that on the KW Standard Presentation tab, when you are a part of luxury and or international, you can see those here. And we have luxury template and an international page that you can include in your presentation.
Yes.
Is there a way, and maybe you'll get to this, that you can change the order of the pages when you print it out? Okay.
Yeah. Well, change the order, just, I mean, it's not gonna bind it, so you're gonna then take the page and move it. It's gonna
Can
print.
you have it print in a different order than the way it is on the
Never been
screen?
asked that.
I don't think so. I think if you have like a program on PDF or Acrobat or something,
Yeah, that's
you
what
can
I
move
did. I
them.
printed it to PDF
Yeah.
and then rearranged it. Okay.
But that's a secondary step. And we have agents that just have this on their iPad. They just use this on their iPad as a presentation. Okay, but right now, literally if we hadn't gone through any description, it takes a minute to do this whole thing. You say, I want to do Bruce Hardy, and I'm putting my Grayson Lakes, and boom, you're done. And it looks really, really good. And I'll show you the strength of this in a minute. Finish and create PDF. And now click print, and it'll show it to you first. So Michael Bosart looks really, really clean, right? I just got 1314 long draw. And we chose not to use your branding in this particular case. It's KW
No,
Moore.
it'll be, but it's not on the first
Oh,
page.
you did click the brand.
Right, but it's not on the first page.
So here's that. Unlike most real estate professionals, I built my business on results. So you've got your power statement. And some people mail this to the person ahead of time, FedEx it if it's a great property. There's the branding. Okay, that's what he finds. Let's go down. Total market overview. So number of active listings in the Grayson Lakes area, 15, pending, 3. So it's all nicely laid out on the right side. Go down. 8 steps selling process. So remember, if you're going to copy Bruce exactly, well now you got it laid out for you, nice and clean. Power of pricing, to get the most for the property, there you go, and how to price it properly. And there's some nice collateral. Your CMA comes in here. This way you're adding your CMA. You'll also add Claris market metrics, which we'll show you. Of course, key market factors, these are staples, terms, price, location, timing. Home selling process. Hey, hi Paul. And again, standard stuff. But we do update this regularly. Prepare your home for sale. Give us a task. And we really did some research on the coloring. That red and that softer dark tones really do help the people follow along. Preparing your home for sale. Marketing plan. So, and you'll see in a minute, we're going to show you the information on 6 agents that were brand new in the business, less than 3 weeks, how well they did. It was here where they had their success, and they had amazing success. And the marketing plan, we go into detail ahead of time. Hey, here's the difference between web and print. We got a great print company. There's no doubt about it. Linda Dang did, the Lux Team's branding. It looks pretty darn nice. You guys did very, very well. But on the web, I spend more money than anybody on search engine optimization, Google. And so we get to show them how powerful it is. Let's go down. So our SEO, real important. We don't show up on page 1 all the time on all of these, but we get to page 1 more times than any other real estate company in Houston. That's important. I don't know, someone go to Houston Property Agents on their Google, so it's not something biased. If you can go to Google and tell me where we show up for Houston Property Agents. Again, don't sell us as number one, because you got a million other people competing for these spaces. If we go to number one, we're gonna drop down. I might be number 15 right now. But remember, you got thousands of companies competing.
Houston property agents. Houston property agents.
Here we
She's
go.
already typed it. Okay, so here, are you in Google?
Yes.
Okay. Let me see, Houston property agents, you got KW Memorial is number one out of 2.6 million entries. Okay, but we're not always there. That's pretty cool, not that we were right now.
Yeah.
I was kind of.
You're
But I want you to know, we won't be. You know, where's Heritage? Probably page.
Probably, I don't know.
Page 15.
They're over there on Memorial Drive.
We're
Oh.
they're trying to get
Yeah,
out
you
of
go
that.
that road.
Yeah.
Okay, I go there for my cryotherapy across the street, it's really good, but boy, you take Tully. So, here's the thing, just sell it as we show up on page one more times than any other company, because we always want to be honest, that's more important than anything. But that's powerful, because do you go to page two of Google for anything? No, you go to page one, you look at what's there, and so it's important that you do let them know about this. You want a company that's gonna be where 95% of the population is. Was that our 2015 or was it 96 for 2016?
I don't remember.
It's one of the two. 95% of the population will go to the internet at some point during their home search for their home. It's very believable, it's very true, and NARB puts out that stat. I think we still are at 2015 stat in here though. Can you scroll down, please? See, the 2015 stat was 92% at that time. Still important, right? That you let people know, this is where people go, they don't go to the newspaper anymore. Does anybody here subscribe to the paper still? And actually, nobody in this group? Isn't that crazy? Anybody been on the internet the last day? Okay, all right. These are the sites that we send your property to when you take that listing. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, tonight at midnight, we are gonna syndicate your property to 330 real estate websites. You're doing all this stuff for them. We're doing it, but you're here and you cut a check to us for 100 and change every month. We do a lot in the back end. Let's take advantage of what we do. Okay, it's going to 330 additional real estate websites. Now, you could show them this page, or you don't have to. You show them this page, are they gonna want the custom flyers on the $122,000 house? On the $1 million house, I get it. On this one, is it worth it? You have to decide. Decide if you're gonna do that. Now, here's that, and now you're done. And the scripts are right here. I want to take you through someone. Remember the Australian guy we saw in the beginning? Here you got it word for word. Everything he said. And again, you don't have to do it, but I have a lot of big agents that are doing it. He said, I needed something more concise, and this gets me there. And I'm in and out in about, definitely less than an hour. All right. Easy, guys? That's printed out. I mean, she could hit the print button and it's literally on your printer, ready to go. You did the setup, took you half an hour. You never have to do that again.
You would add that script at the end and like just follow
I'd learn it.
with the
Like I give you an offer
Right.
in a bit. If you learn that, you do the presentation for me. I pay
That's
you.
right.
How much is it? I pay $200 to do the presentation for me. I have a caveat in there. We'll show you in a second. Let's go to it. And,
need to do that.
We'll print it. We'll do that presentation for her. What did you say?
hold on, Tiger. You gotta see the caveat. But I have a lot of people that do it. I want to help you. Look, if you got called right now, all of you got called to go on the same listing presentation. Which one's you get? Who's gonna get it? Right?
Me.
Why?
Because I want it.
Because you want it? Okay. But if you don't have it down concisely, it's kind of tough. Hey, it's Brandy. All right, so here's what I do. You do that presentation for me, and I pay you $200, but here's the rule. You gotta listen to the Bruce Hardy 2 times. We're gonna show you how to get there. And you have to practice the presentation 2 times with somebody other than me. Before it was like, hey, just do it for me, and it was horrible. So let's do it with somebody other than me. The spouse is always great, and do it. And then you do the presentation for me, and we pay $200, right? Nobody pays. Did they pay you at Heritage to do a presentation for them ever?
Did I?
Did they pay you?
Oh, no. They made me do it in front of classes
They
to
made you
teach
share,
people,
yeah.
but no, they never paid me anything, but not even a thank you.
Okay, fair enough. All right, can we go, and we're gonna go back into Powerlister here.
Do you want me to go back to Powerlister?
Yeah, because I want to show them the stuff with our group of agents. And we can then jump right
Well, I don't
into
know you.
the study of
Okay.
6 agents.
Where is it?
So Michael, that was the setup?
No,
I mean,
Powerlister, your program. That was it.
That was it?
That's
Did
crazy.
we
Is that
print
crazy
and
how
that's
easy
it?
that is? I mean, literally, we went through the whole thing, and it took us 30 minutes, and that was.
And where do we go to KW
We're gonna show you how to do it
Powerlister
all.
.com. You
Yeah,
have
KW
that.
Powerlister Deluxe gets you there.
And then put your KW
So,
email in.
Yeah.
Here's what we did. In 2015, we tracked agents, brand new agents. We wanted evidence of how powerful this was. So basically what we did is we said, we did this a few times, you had to be in the business less than 3 weeks to be in this study. What did you know your first 3 weeks? Besides nothing, right? You knew nothing. You passed your test. Did they teach you anything at Champions as far as selling? No, it's hey, how do you pass the test? And so, took 6 agents and done this a couple of times, over 60 days. They all were in bold, and if you've been to bold, you know it's pretty, gets you into focus and going on listings. We asked these agents we did from September through October, and then another time from September to October, we asked 6 agents, will you use this? And they did, and they went on 24 listing presentations separately where they did not know the seller, That was germane to this whole thing. You know the seller, you're gonna get it. We took 21 listings out of 24 presentations, and one was over $1 million. So all they did was use this. They don't know what they're doing, but they use this. And the number one area of success for them was on the marketing. Remember where I showed you how we were first place in Google and all that? Sellers care about that. That resonates with them. Use this, please. When you print it out, that we've got, and I don't know if they have them here, but we should have them here. Ones where you can heat up the book, and it gives you a nice, real presentation book looking thing. All right, we good with this one? Any questions so far? Here's where you go to watch that Bruce Hardy. Can you show us where we're going to go to? You know, the mykw.kw.com. It's kind of weird. Why mykw.kw? But it is mykw.kw.com. Put in your username and your password. And now, up on top, you go to Education and down to KW Connect. Education to KW Connect. There you have everything. That's where KW houses their best stuff. Okay. Now you can just type in the search white bar. The person we listened to was Bruce Hardy, Hardie. Listing presentation. So Bruce Hardy listing presentation. And that's Bruce. Super cool guy. You go to his video.
Wait, where is
You're gonna see tears go down. It's down.
it? There's this video? I have the video.
How about those text images? Did we spell everything right? Bruce Hardy listing
I think so.
presentation. That used to be there forever and ever and ever. Maybe we just said Bruce Hardy. They move stuff.
Oh,
There it is. So listing presentation Bruce Hardy is how they changed it on us. So listing presentation and it's Bruce Hardy. But you can do whatever you want. You don't have to do any of this. But this has that one section that follows him exactly, and then you have the custom section in here as well. If you're going to do the presentation for me, I ask that you go through this one twice. Let's go ahead and click it and see that it's the same thing. There you go, Bruce. Alright, you watch it twice, and then you do the presentation for someone twice. Just pick an arbitrary address, And then just set up a plan with Brenda and do it for me. But again, easy to set up. Now that you know the basics, if you need guidance, we can help you over the phone. Can we tape this class ever? Recorded it?
Right now we are.
Okay, so this has been recorded right now. Easy enough? Any questions on that? You need help with your password if you haven't checked it yet. We've got someone on staff that will take care of that for you. That's Oscar. Hey, did you guys see all the, no more Buffalo bio?
That's never bothered me, but
What's it gonna be now?
You weren't in that meeting. We're not gonna
I
touch
was
it.
there.
What?
I was there. They were confused on the names.
We got plaque and we took care of it.
Yes. There you go.
All right.
What was the Keller Williams address to type in to get to all of that, the last set?
mykw.kw.com. And then you're gonna go on KW Connect once you get into using the password. So this is the program, Claris Market Metrics, that you want to use when you go on the listing presentation. We've had very good success with this. Let's go, and you all have a license to it. I pay for your license for this. Let's go into login.
So if you guys haven't signed up for this, you just gotta click sign up, create a username and password, type your first name, last name, your email.
Can you make that bigger?
I can't make it bigger on this one, it won't make the screen bigger.
Oh, okay.
But the website, it's really long, so just, you can use either kwclaris.com and that'll take you there.
The original URL is about 36 characters for some reason, and they're not easy. We don't know why they do that.
And
So we had,
Claris is spelled CLARUS.com. kwclaris.com.
now, sometimes they're confused. Wait a minute, do I have to pay for this? Because it looks like they have to go into the KW.
No, you guys,
What
just
is-
make sure that the logo is right there next to it, once you get in there, and when you hit sign up, it should be free, it shouldn't prompt you to, pay for anything or anything like that.
As long as the KW logo is there, otherwise it's expensive.
That is really a.
Wait, I'm sorry, how do you get the KW logo there?
It should
It should be there already. Just make sure that before you sign up, it is there, because if it's not there, it's just a generic and it's gonna ask you to pay.
Yeah, use the URL she gave.
And ask Oscar if there's issues on this too, or no?
Oscar could be your guy on this as well.
No, you can email me and I can give you the.
Both, we've got a bunch of people can help you. All right, let's take a look at it. We're going to login. And this is cool. This gives you instant credibility in an area, even if you don't know it that well. All right. For right now, I'm going to just do 77024 because it's one that I did before. We can go as granular as any street if you have enough data. But for right now, we're looking for zip code 77024. And you can go to the left side. You have two buttons. Can you show me the buttons over there? That's the market dynamics, and now you get into pricing
You want
analysis.
me to price it?
Now let's go into market dynamics, the first one. Now, in the last 12 months, going back from today, there were 528 homes that sold in 77024. So the general look on that, we're gonna let's show everything.
Oh, all of them?
Oh, single family's fine. I'm sorry. We'll do single family to start. But let's say you're looking at the properties with townhouses. You can get better than that. Okay. Search.
So do you, where it said area, so does it break down zip code, street,
Yeah.
MLS area?
Right,
Yes, you got
everything.
everything.
Okay.
I'm going generic for lots of data, and we're
Gotcha.
gonna then pick one of your listings. You guys, would it be easier if these lights were out?
Let's try, let's see.
How do you do the lights? All right, good.
You don't have to turn lights off your own. No?
Okay, that's better, right, guys?
Yes.
All right, so- Well, we got Alexa.
Turn it off.
We've had challenges with her. Okay, so the median sold price, Mr. Seller, is down 26% overall, right? This is including everything in O24. You get more granular, but it's down. Show me the next one. This took us, what, a second to pull up? The median sale versus median sold price. Well, the median price for sale properties is up 9%. What does that mean? People are asking more but the median price of sold properties is down. So a little disconnect. People are asking more, but they're getting less than last year. They're asking more, getting less. Let's scroll down to demand. This one's always a great one.
And the information is in 1 year range? Like
1 year,
very-
we can go
Yeah.
more, but let's stick with this for right now. The number of for sale properties is down. There's less people. They're asking more that are, but there's less for sale, 14%. And the number of sold properties is up 62%. That's huge. What happened last year that a bunch of people sold? You had oil prices, and you had a fair number of people in 024 that sold, and we saw that. That's pretty big. Let's switch and let's go over to the pricing side. What happens if I price it wrong? You know, I'm looking at selling, and you know, Brandy was over here, and she said that I should get about 1.5 for it. And you know, Mr. Seller, Brandy's amazing. She's a great agent. But we're showing it should be at 1.4 with the comps. Go to the zip code, 77024. And let's now, same number of homes. For pricing, let's go, how big can we go? Depending on how big you go will determine the range that you're gonna get. All right, let's go 1 million. And how much will it do if I do 1 million? On the range increment to 2 million. 1 to 1.5. Sure, let's see what we get here. On the left side of the screen, I can pick any one of these boxes you want to, trust me, do the bottom one. And it takes a minute to calculate all of this data, but it's powerful stuff.
Is this pulling straight from HAR, or does it pull from other sources too?
My understanding, it's HAR.
Okay.
It's just HAR. Because this is created by the same program that does broker metrics, which is a program I use to see how well you're doing. And it only shows HAR. Bottom left one, and these are great. You can see the big area that we're looking for is 1 to 1.5, but here's where all the other cells, you can see that 500 to a million, can you do a cursor in that tall graph? 500 to a million is really the sweet spot of where sales are happening, right? So here you can see the price banding too. The left bottom graph, please. Yeah. So this is power. Let me steal that first. I know you can do it, but I just want to make sure I hit this. There were, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, 80 homes between the property, between the price of, what do we do, 1 million to 1.5? 80 homes in the last year in 77024. Of those, 37 needed no price reduction. Can you see that 37? Can you make that bigger? Does that go bigger? Maybe it doesn't. Okay.
Yeah,
It's kind of funky.
that one
Okay.
makes it smaller or something.
Yeah, don't do that. All right. There were 37 that needed no price reduction. That they listened to their agent. They didn't do one of these, hey, let's go 100,000 more and negotiate. They priced it right. 43 of the 80, so about the other half, needed at least one price reduction. What are the consequences of that? Let's take a look. Cool thing that people like is you can really see it. Those dots represent those properties, and there's pricing on the bottom and time, or days on market on the left. The ones that priced it right, those 37 that got an offer without having to do a price reduction, got 95.8% of what they were asking, and it took 24 days to get into escrow. The ones who needed a price reduction only got 80.9, less than 81% of what they were asking. It took 117 days. I know Brandy's great. Wants to get you that extra 100,000. I'm telling you, the comps clearly show this. She is great. You should listen with me.
But I'd
This is-
rather sell in 24 days than
Would you-
117 days.
And get 95% of what you're asking, assuming that would have equaled out. It's important. This has teeth, and you all have an access to this because I bought you a membership to it. Let's pick an actual address that makes sense. Somebody give me a subdivision that, let's go smaller, subdivision that has some activity in it that you've listed in. Maybe
I was
it's
looking at Carlton Woods.
Carlton Woods. Okay, so now when you do a subdivision, there's many. If you do Cinco Ranch, there's going to be 15 different Cinco Ranches. You can grab them all, or you can get more specific. But you
Yeah,
want
so when you,
data.
if you just type it in, you just like all of them. That's what you do.
Yeah, they
Like if you just
what
type in
was
Carlton. Carlton Woods.
Carlton Woods, Carlton.
Does it allow you to put section numbers in there?
It's gonna give you section numbers.
Oh, okay,
You're
so
gonna-
you select.
You're
Yeah,
gonna
but
see it all.
Yesterday when you put it in it,
It
you'll see it'll
pulls
bring
it
up
all
a
up.
bunch, so you don't know, do you click all of them, so you don't have
There you
Creekside
go.
in there.
Yeah.
Great choice. So Carlton Woods, Creekside, then you got Carlton Woods where there's, now remember, if you only got 11, well, that's not a lot of data. It may be beneficial for you to show it, but take a look at this ahead of time. Don't get caught on the fly not looking at this ahead of time. Okay, so should we pick the 11 and the 10? There's a Creekside with 10 and a there you go. So now we've got Carlton Woods, and then you got another Carlton Woods with 11. There's one with 1, one with 11, and then Carlton Woods Creekside is 10 more. So our total number is 22. What's our price point in that area?
900,000 to 3 million,
Okay, so now what's our price point for this client? What's
2.5.
2.5. So let's go 2 to 3, and let's see what we get. If it allows us to 2 to 3. Okay, the jump will allow 1 million. So 2 to 3. Let's see if we get any. If you only get a couple, it doesn't really help us again.
Should be decent.
But it's cool. You're the neighborhood expert in 5 minutes. Can you guys see the benefit of this? When you go on a listing presentation, they show the comps, you show the comps and this.
Sometimes they get mad.
Yeah.
They're like, wait.
Isn't it good to lead with reality?
This much? Yeah.
It's tough when it's like, well, Brenda said it was worth this, and you're only saying this, but then I said, well, look at this. You decide. And you're coming with ammunition versus, no, you really should be less. All right, we got a few. So again, your sweet spot is that before that, I guess the 1 to 2. You only got 2.
Yeah, there's not a lot.
But now, they're pretty similar. 2 that sold without a price reduction took 147 days. The one that needed a price reduction took 285 days. But again, it's not a lot of a hump, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta-
That one's way overpriced though.
It's kind of funky. Anyone else want to try one for their neighborhood?
It's a weird area.
Whatever neighborhood they sold, again, it's here, it's easy to use. It's like MLS, you just gotta kind of pick and choose. The left button that it defaults to shows you just that area, how much appreciation is, and then this one goes into pricing analysis. Price it right, this is what happens over the last year. You good? You understand it? You feel good? You love it? All right.
So can you email yourself those, or do you just print
Yes.
those?
Yeah,
You can send them out.
Oh, I can see them.
Now, you're gonna wanna
Gotcha.
explain it to the client, and we have had success where you circle it, and you write a circle on this and say, look, this is what happened with no price, this is what happens when you show those two. We found that those dots are powerful enough, they can see, oh, it's filled in, needed a price change, they can see that versus comps, it's just words to them and numbers, and here's the active, this is nice, I can understand this.
Does it show anywhere what time of the year will be better to sell in that subdivision?
I don't have a seasonal on this. There is another program that actually shows you how long it takes for the inventory to sell. I don't have that one, but the membership one's $25. It's pretty cool. I forgot what the name of it is, but I saw it last week. It shows you how long it takes to sell, and if you price it wrong, it shows you stuff like that. This one's much more complex. Okay, should we move on to the next?
Sure.
Okay, and what was the next? Okay, we're gonna show you the showing agent now.
Or we can wait until 10, because we did say, and then we can take a break.
Just want a couple minutes?
Don will be here in a couple of minutes. She's just parking. She wants to do the showing agent.
Okay. Take a minute. Showing agent has been big for us.
Yeah.
Look at that, 45 minutes. Maybe we don't need to make the class up.
That's evidently the one with their page is
Good, man. You?
Murray.
Oh,
Murray. Yeah.
How's business?
I don't get it, but they like it just so much.
You know, option.
I think he's waiting for Chicago.
You know, you start putting on your
Murray's phone is
contract.
right
Final day.
So as soon as that goes down, then he's
Yeah, 5 p.m.
ready to go.
Otherwise, option.
Good, well, that's all.
Instead of,
That's
because I forgot to do that, there's some people, there was an agent from Heritage, Texas, played that thing where she called me at 11,
Okay, can you
at
ask?
11:30 at
Oh,
night.
you wanna hear a story? I got a story for you.
That's your
I
seed
pulled
that's
the
turned into a
dickhead move
tree.
one time. Sent a 459, right? Determination, like she thought I was gonna get stuck.
Hey, I didn't know if you
I
wanted us
literally
to stay
waited
for the
till
next.
the last minute, which like, my computer froze up or some shit.
Oh.
It would've been bad. Sent her. 459, I sent the termination. She's probably sitting, when I put a smiley face, she was probably sitting there so pissed off.
You pull one of those deep counter government moves, shadow government
Hey,
moves.
sometimes you
You're
got,
Trump,
sometimes you got to.
no, she's Trump and you're the deep shadow government.
It's business.
You know, I don't think anything, so now I put that drop dead at 5 p.m. on the final day. Because you're not gonna pull away my ability to
They just really started enforcing
They
that.
play that,
What?
and then I call them up and say,
Yeah. They just started enforcing that.
well, they just found out,
No?
what I tell them is, no, come on.
Yeah.
You know better than how I'm perfect.
Yeah.
I make you feel bad, I'm trying to pull that out. You know, I'm probably laughing. That's what
They've gone through this class on how to greet.
And you can also duplicate it
Sally
on
Bennett.
Those are qualified.
but I find this is just something
Like
else.
one of y'all's agents over there, Heritage, Texas, Doc.
Probably
She's
way,
former oil and gas
probably
executive.
way before me.
I would never do another show.
No?
Her whole thing the whole time was doom, everything's gonna end, it's gonna go away. Doom, everything's doom, right? So she tried to use doom as a manipulative tool. I said, Cal, I said, heck is this? I said, you know what? Between you and I, you must know that things will go forever. Most untrained, unprofessional roster with these people on there. And so when they came to the walkthrough with their client, she brought her husband, who's
Okay, so we lost.
because she felt intimidated by me.
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything to you. I was telling you that you're unprofessional. I said, I have all the emails and the voicemails and everything in the text that say, you're unprofessional.
Their schedules.
You know, I'm not gonna, please, do something professional. Be here with your, be here with your clients for their walkthrough.
Right.
Thank you.
Said that the log was gonna be different.
The, grab on and machine is going out, so he can start.
Hey, how are you?
She said we'll go train and then change it to the system wages. And then which I was gonna take it off my phone.
Another story.
I have that website written down in my notes. I'll text it to you.
No, I haven't.
They'll have to create.
Hey, honey, Lynn.
It's not part of our plan.
Okay. Hey, Brandon,
Make
Brandon.
sure the
What up?
Yeah,
You can have my seat.
Wasn't it all?
I was just watching the end of Claire's move out there.
Working out for everybody?
There's
This is all, the stairs are for you?
There's no stairs.
There's no stairs.
We're the ones, we walk right in the wall right
Oh,
out.
you're not in the second.
In cast signs there is, but
Oh,
not in the back
y'all
side.
have gone
You know,
back.
Yeah.
Section.
Yeah, like there's stairs for us.
Because I've watched you do it down the stairs when you're doing yourself.
Have you ever lived in a 3 or 4 story house?
Once.
Yeah.
You did, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all
I
learned
moved
it first
into
time.
a ranch house again, and I was
Never do it.
my dogs were like, they almost like they looked at me like almost dared me here. Well, we had one of the houses, and it had master bedroom, third floor, laundry, versatile.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's a great idea if you actually
Now,
live in it.
well, doing the dirty laundry, the stairs, just drop it all down, but then try that. I think you ought to go for a while.
You gotta take it back up.
I just forgot what it was.
It's all right, you'll remember it as soon as we start.
You know, my little brain,
Find a spot at.
you made her nervous.
The parking was full.
It's excellent to make me
That's good. See ya.
nervous.
This thing's profit dash is working.
Oh, that thing.
You ever seen the price? You ever seen the price of it?
Tracking all my mileage.
Oh, down 290. Well, actually, we weren't up there till Sunday.
Hey guys, in case you missed the party, here's what it looked like. We'll show that in just a second.
Oh, yes.
You're right, on 290.
Is that right, Brenda?
Going there like, okay.
Or is it loading?
I know,
Oh,
I
yeah.
got it, but I'm telling you that
These are the on Friday,
Oh.
sorry, back Monday.
Sorry. Let's make it
And do it this week.
big. Come to our parties.
It's fun.
It's too much. When's the next party anyway?
In a year.
In a year?
Let's see if we get heck out the show. Mathematics are great, all right.
I'd like to go to a bar.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
We went over budget.
Picking up shocking.
Hey, look who that is.
Hey.
We have a lot of good looking people out here. I don't wanna know what
Sure they
You got me fun about that so much yesterday. Here, I walked out of the office.
I know, yeah. And even if it's an open bar, they're not a good combination.
Oh, yeah, I like it.
Yeah, exactly. If you're not paying.
I don't know what happened there.
Open bar.
Too much deal for bar?
Rookie of the year.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was gonna do a speech when he said, "Do you have anything to say?"
You in 30 minutes.
And then he said, "And Paige Martin has been so great," and now everyone's probably calling for Paige. I like the way
Hey, Brenda. Fancy dress.
these guys are the absolute best. Mathematics.
We spend a lot of money on costumes.
Yeah. Brenda likes Good job. All right. We're gonna spend a second here because we got the time to show you the growth initiative. This will just take a short time, but this is set up now for teams, for individuals, for you to really help set where you want to be. We don't care what you put in. Let's go through the career growth initiative. So everyone in here has access to this. We can do it with you, but we don't. It's not something we have to do. And let's pick an agent.
You mean pick an agent?
Yeah, it's all right. Doesn't have to be anybody here. Let's pick somebody who's got some business. We can see the ones who are using it. Let's go down. Let's go big. Somebody,
I haven't set mine up, so,
we're not gonna do you.
okay.
I mean, no, we could do you, but I want to do you in front of everybody. You want-
I don't care.
Nice. Okay. Very
Knock
cool.
yourself out.
Let's do it. Let me show you, let's show you one
to
that's using. No, you are in there. Brandon, we got you set up.
Oh, well, there you go.
But we need to change your goal. Okay, because your goal right now, profit's 250. I thought it was 25,000 from there. So, where would you like your profit to be at the end of 2017?
Can I do it based on volume versus
versus profit?
Well, we can,
Or work
we
backwards?
can work backwards with that. What would
Okay.
you like your volume to be?
50, at least 50 million.
50 million. So of that 50 million, what percent do you typically get?
I think well, after all team expenses and all that stuff, about,
Well, I'm talking about commission. How much do you
Oh.
get?
we probably gross about 2.3 to 2.4%.
Really? Very good. Okay. On those kinds of numbers and the price that you guys are at, okay, 2.4. Okay, so let's go first off into commission and go 2.4. So again, we're doing this a little bit different, but it's still fun to do. Your expenses monthly, is that one that you can?
Yeah,
What else?
they're about 15,000 a month.
Okay, 15,000. Cap, they have a default at 20, it's 18. Royalty, 3. What do you think your taxes are with your business?
At least 40%.
Okay, we'll keep it at 40. All right. Is there anything additional that we need to put in there for additional means?
Can't think of anything.
I should. Okay. Average home price?
750.
Okay. How much do you focus on sellers? I know you got your team, but what percentage of your business of all that is?
I would probably say 90% is sellers.
Okay. It's healthy. What's your conversion rate of listings taken to listings closed? You take a listing, how often does it not close out of 10?
98%.
It closes 98% of the time. Okay. Good ratio. How often do you go on a listing appointment and get it? You go on 10, how many times are you going to get the listing?
If I want the listing.
If you really want it. It's a
10.
listing you get. So we're at 100. Should we go 90 for the heck of it?
Sure.
Okay, let's go 90. All right.
I don't know what they said.
Commission split is well, right?
I think because it's asking, since it's a team now, listing and buyer agents, so they're just at 0.
We're on the team. We're gonna go 0 on this one, or 100. Commission split is 100. Okay. And it explains everything on the left side. Okay, goal's been updated. Now let's break it down. Show me our stuff that we need to do. So this is for 250. Estimated taxes are going to be 166,000 and change. The cost of sale, us, our 18 plus internationals 3, 21,000. And you have 180,000 in expenses. The GCI goal for the year would be 617,000. That means she needs to do 51,000 each month. She needs to sell about $2 million based on her, right, a little bit over that. Closing listings buyers. Let's click on that. We can see she needs 34 closings, listings buyers for the year. She needs 2.9 closings per month, 3 closings a month. Listings taken. It's going to break it down for us. To achieve 30.9 closed listings this year, she's going to need to do 31.5 listings taken. Why? Because she's only successful 98% of the time. It's a really good ratio. 2.6 listings taken per month. Come on. All right. Now, let's see, can we go to the graph? Or you got more on here? Oh, here we go. To achieve 31.5 listings taken, she's going to need to take 35 listing appointments this year. And listings per month needs to be 2.93. And then 3 listing appointments per month, 3 listings taken per month, 3 closing listings buyers per month. It's going to yield the 51,000 that she needs in GCI per month. We didn't put a lot of information in, but it chews on it. Okay, now let's go to the. Okay, and we can see the graph from here. That's perfect. Now, 12-month tracker. This is showing contracts written and contracts closed because we automatically load that in for her. Now, when she gets a commission check from Mark, it automatically gets loaded in here as well. So we can see all that stuff. She doesn't have to do anything. If you're using Profit Dash, it gets loaded into there as well. When you use your credit card for an expense, and you use your business credit card, it gets loaded in there as well. So now you can see it on there as well. And Profit Dash is now free to our agents. When you drive your car somewhere, it's gonna ask you, is this a business expense? And it's gonna show you what the deduction is automatically added in. So we've got that tied in as well. But here, it shows everything nice and clean. If she wants to update that at any time, she can. She can look at it any time and review it with her team, because this is set up on the team one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
I don't know if everything's in there for that, but
Okay.
I'm
We've
trying
got
to figure
it
out
set
how
up
to do that.
for teams,
Okay.
and we can help you with that.
Tashara's really good at it.
Yeah, so Shar is our person that we're
Okay.
setting around, and it's neat, and as an
Everybody gets
individual, wouldn't it be cool to see where you're at? If you can visually see that, you're more apt to be able to hit that goal. If you don't see it, it's a lot tougher. Cool, so that is our growth initiative, okay, our career growth initiative. It's part of being here, it's free.
And so you get there.
Remember KW Connect, that's where we went for that video. It's the
You're gonna
pulse
go
of
to
this
Get
program.
to Education, KW Connect.
Y'all sent a couple emails out with that too, asking us to set up, so.
Yeah, and so it goes 90% unanswered. That's our ratio.
Okay, good.
We're in that top tier too.
Yeah,
But the ones that do it are the ones taking it serious. Melanie Pipbury has been with us forever. She's like, oh my God, this is the end of the world. This is so great. So again, remember it's at KW Connect and it's at mykw.kw.com. All right, let's get into the showing agents. We want to get you to, who's going to the other thing, that forecast analysis? If you're not, you might want to consider it. I know you are, Bill. There's lunch there, but this guy's really good. And when you go to a forecast analysis in December for the year, it's not going to be as accurate as if you go in March and you see, okay, this is what the rest of the year is going to look like. Now we have tracking numbers to go with. The data's a lot better. This guy's good. He's good. That's why I paid, I helped sponsor this thing. Consider going if you can. And that's at what time? 11:30 is food?
Yes, it starts at 12.
And it starts at 12. All right, this is the showing agent. So this program got a lot of excitement because I talked about it a little bit at our big convention at Family Reunion. I was on some panels and they were saying, how did you become the second biggest office, second biggest in growth for the year? The goal for the company is that you net 36 agents a year. We netted 130. And I know the Met was a big piece of that. That was a chunk of it. Net, it was at 37 now. But we still were way ahead of everybody. Way ahead of everybody. This program has been big for us. So now we have about 60 market centers buying it from us. Not bad, it's $50 a month. But it's working for them, and I want it to work for us. We're the ones who created it. This is a program that gives us leverage. I show you a piece of it when you come and join our office or when you come to look at our office. But it's pretty powerful. We're going to go into who the showing agents are. Some people, they say, well, look, I don't even know that person. Pick some that work for you. You're going to have a kid that's going to have a ballet recital or need to go to a basketball game or something. You're going to go on vacation. Anyone go anywhere on spring break? You're going to do that. Here you've got people that can watch your shop for you and do showings for you. So this program, we require that you take Ignite if you're not an established agent. Sure.
I'm fine right now, just want to say thank you.
Okay. And then we also require that they take a DISC, which is the personality profile. That takes 15 minutes, just so we have a baseline of what the personality is of the person in it. And then we have you take a showing agent class, which is an hour long. That's what I'm going to do now in 20 minutes. So let's take a look at some of our showing agents. Agents hop on and off this as needed because it doesn't pay 100%, but you're doing showings for somebody else. I mean, Murad Fiki is in here and he's at like 8.5 million in production. He's not going to do showings for you. He should hop off, right? Because you don't want to call him, so we'll probably pull him off. But all these agents can do showings for you. And we have strict criteria. If you call a showing agent and they're late to the appointment with your client, they're out of the program for at least 90 days. That's if they're like a couple minutes late. We have to have tight criteria because I'd like Sharon's team to use this program. I want them to trust it. All right, so here's how it works. Again, Murad doesn't make sense. We got the disc in there, we got everything. We don't have broker metrics on here, do we? Okay, so scroll up to the top. What is this? Now go ahead and click on it again, the same button, and you'll see that this is gonna rotate through randomly. But you're gonna wanna pick somebody when you need a showing agent, oftentimes based on geography. The basics on this are, let's say that, and I think the example I used if I met with you, Brandy's got a listing, somebody calls on the listing, and they tell her, hey, can you tell me about 123 Main Street? We're relocating from Montana, and we're engineers, and we'd like to see the property. Brandy can say, let me have my showing agent, because you're out of town, let me have my showing agent help you with that. They said they were what? What did they do for a living? Engineers. Go to, let's find someone with a high C, because that's the personality trait of someone who's very detail oriented. It goes, she's okay, that's a 28. Let's, Burnett. Let's see if we got more than that. Oh, look at Bernard, 92. This guy, the D is your dominant trait. What number is he? Donald Trump would be 100. Love him or hate him, he would be 100. This guy, very passive, nice guy. The next one is the I. What's the I? It's your influencer. This is the life of the party. Oprah would be really high on this. He's a 38. The S is slow and steady. So this is a person, show me how to do it and I'll do a great job. And then I'll do another. They don't want things thrown at them too fast. This is a great assistant. They stay forever. Brenda, what is your S?
94.
94. You want someone with a high S, right? As an assistant. Okay? But you can also tick them off, and then when the kettle blows, it blows. All right. The C is the person who is exact. Exactness. The engineers in the building across the street can all afford a house, but their personality is high robotic C and very detailed. And if I do this, then this will happen. And let me overthink everything. But they can all afford a house. You got to be able to communicate with them. He can, right? Natalie Radke next to him, not as much in general, just from our basic data we have. If you know Bernard, you know that I'm telling you the truth. This guy thinks like that. So Heckroth says, hey, Bernard, I've got the Smiths. Would you like to be my showing agent? They're calling about blah. And he says, sure. She's never met. Have you met him?
Never, not.
But she knows he's in the program and she knows there's standards that we set for this. So Bernard says, I'd absolutely love to do it. He goes out and he meets the Smiths at the house or wherever they set. If he's there at 101 and she calls the people later on and says, how did he do? Well, he was 1 minute late. He's out of our program for 90 days. We're very, very strict. And it's because I want her to trust it. I have one person who was late once, 4 minutes. She was out for 90 days. It happened early when we started this program. I haven't had anybody come back to me and say that their person was late. Now, he says to them, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, as part of the Heckroth team, even though he's not, he's part of it right now, I'm going to show you this property and any others you want to see. And when you ultimately decide on writing an offer, Brandy's going to take care of it from there, and I'm out of the picture. Now, one of our rules is if at any point the Smiths say, you know, Bernard, we've been with you for 4 days looking at properties, we really like you, we want to work with you. He's absolutely out of the program forever. There's no coming back in. Because the whole time he should be saying, Brandy's the best agent, you are really lucky you called on this, she's the best. And he's overselling or selling the Heckroth team. That's what we've created. At no point in the 3.5 years we've had this, has that agent, that's the showing agent, ever gotten the client to say, no, our rule is strict, super strict. They need to build that brand, not their brand. But what does he get paid? Brandy gets to pick ahead of time the compensation. He chose all three. The first one is ad hoc. Ad hoc is $25 an hour, straight up. Within 48 hours after showing the last property, she needs to pay him his $25 an hour. And he said he would accept that. The second is commission, 25% commission. That happens at closing and that goes through our process. The cash part is directly from her to him. And the third one is hybrid, $10 an hour and 10% commission. Again, she picks it. If he's hybrid is 10 and 10. He's going to get some money, even if it doesn't close. All right, now let's go to the next one that shows where they live. So agent by location shows us where they live. Who cares about their disc? I don't know what these people do anyways, and it doesn't matter to me.
Sorry.
So this shows, let's say that you got somebody down here in Friendswood. I don't want to drive down there on a whim. Somebody called on one of my listings. Let me give it to her. So that's Pika. Now Pika, what will she do it for? Only commission. So if you want to work with her, you can say, hey, I'm going to pay 25. No, she didn't accept that. I mean, you can offer it ahead of time, but she says that. Now Pika is my one example. 4 minutes late. She was out of the program for 90 days, and she was very upset about it. But no one else has been late because I set a standard. If I would have wavered, all of a sudden, you know what happens. Everybody would have known. So it's been working really well. And we take care of the management on this. Showing agents can hop off and on. If you call a showing agent and they're not available, we want to know about it. We want to know because we want to see if there's a trend there. Oh, they're never available. Well, then we need them off the program and make room for more people. But it's been a nice source of income for a lot of agents that are newer, and they're doing a great job. We have several people that have picked, several lead agents that have picked certain ones in there, and they do very well, and they bypass the program, which is perfectly fine. We now found somebody that was our goal. So it's been very cool, and it's patent pending. We created that at Mega Camp 3.5 years ago, big convention. We just got the idea when we were sitting in a restaurant waiting to be served a couple hours into it. And we said, how do we leverage our time? And then when we got back, we grabbed the agents that wanted to be a part of it. And we said, how does it work? How do you get paid? We had new agents there that wanted 50%, brand new agents, haven't sold anything. And we had lead agents going, yeah, that's not gonna happen. And I said, guys, it's only gonna take 2 hours, because I do that, and like 1 o'clock in the morning, we are still there, ordering pizza, and we came up with this and yet programmers work on it. So it's been very, very cool for us. We've got timesheets in there, we got scripts on how do you tell that person, I'm not gonna be working with you once you're ready to write an offer. We got the scripts in there, Brenda and I shot a video. Is the video in there?
Yeah.
So it's everything's here. I know we got the video that we shot, but we have it in Word as well, or in print. Hello, I am Michael with Keller Williams, and here's a flyer on the property, blah, blah, quote selling features. Properties, it tells you how to even talk to these people. That's our accompanying showing agent script. It's all here. But we'll help you through it if you ever need one, because you want to make sure that the experience is a 10 for you as a lead agent, or if you want to be a showing agent, you can do that as well. I've got quite a few showing agents, so you may sit there for 6 months or a year and not get anybody, but you got to be ready because someone could call you. And they have a tendency to talk to those lead agents. You'll get picked a lot if you do a good job. Okay, pretty good, pretty easy. How do they get a password to it? All I need you to do is make sure you have a disk. Take an Ignite if you're a new agent or one that hasn't been through training. I'm counting this as the showing agent class, so you all are qualified to be on here as lead agents, and if you want to be a showing agent, you can do that as well. How do they get their password? Yes, sir.
So if we want to use someone, we just have to log in and call their phone number, that's it?
Yeah, you don't have to do anything through us, you can just see what they're doing.
And like for us to get a login, we just create one and it's simple.
They submit, how does James do it, or how do we do it now that we pull that away? Garrett handles it, so they go into what? If I wanted to go to KW showing agent, there's a button for signing on.
Right, to log in.
To log
I don't
in.
think there's a button for sign on.
We try to put that.
Wait, so we go to KW Show.
Well, right now we're
So how do you log in?
gonna show you.
Oh.
Gonna log out, log in, right next to it.
Right, but there's not a button for sign on.
Yeah, I just forgot password, so we gotta get that. But because I bypassed you taking the showing agent class, Garrett will get you all a password.
So email Gary.
Do you guys have Garrett's email? G-Hall at,
Yeah, and they just copy you, Brenda.
okay?
If you guys wanna email it to me instead, and I'll make sure you get this to you guys.
Because he's gonna
Okay.
feel weird, okay. Via Linus, kwmorrow.com, we'll take care of it. Again, we're bypassing a step of you going through an hour-and-a-half class with James. That's why we did this.
Perfect.
Thank
Okay,
you.
my pleasure. All right, but you gotta give me feedback, because some of these people get used a lot, and you'll pick someone who maybe hasn't, and they're like, well, and I need to know, so I can say, hey, you can't be in our program anymore. Or I need you to tighten up.
Do you know how many, like, maybe a month, how many there's what, 16 to 20 people on there?
I have some people that get used a lot. We don't have tracking. What I want to put in is a rating. I had some pushback. But it'd be cool if you had someone out of 5, what did they get? But then someone said, well, what if someone hates me and they give me a 1? And we're like, okay, we'll hold off a little while, and we kind of waited. I'd like to have a rating, and it'd be cool if you could see the rating on each one of them, like Uber. This is Uber, right? But I need it to be a 10. And I have some fake agents that use certain people on here, which is kind of validates it. Okay, let's go to open house host. You guys, is the pace too fast, too slow, too whatever?
We're good.
Right? And we also have KW leasing, but this is your open house. When yesterday we came to the team meeting, you saw I gave away an iPad, and the iPad went to, we said if anyone actually does an open house, they're already open house hosts. They've taken our open house class, which we're gonna knock out right now in 20 minutes. And they've also taken Ignite, which you guys are all already qualified, and then we have their disc, which we don't care about personality types in this, but you have that, you got access to this. If you did an open house for someone in this program, then you got an entry yesterday, Christina Sigarosco won a nice iPad because we wanted to stimulate usage. All right, in this one, these are open house hosts. No money changes hands here, right? This is just, you're doing open houses, but if you pick someone from here, you know that they've gone through our training, and they've gone through real training, not
This is
one
gonna
of
be the same login as the last one that we need to get in?
Could be,
Okay.
should be. I mean, get them all the same, use whatever you use, no cursor.
So we can't just make one on this one, we have to get
Yeah, you
here
gotta do
for
the same
data,
thing.
it's the same. Got it.
Yeah, because they gotta qualify. But it's, not capitalization sensitive, so do whatever you want to typically use. So let's go to the agents. These are agents that have gone through our program, like to be open houses. You'll see some big agents here. Brad Hermes, he shouldn't be on this side, but he's a goof. He's the guy who puts them on here, right? He's not gonna host anyone's open house, but right now, he could do it if he wanted to. It's not gonna happen. Christina's the one who won the iPad because she's been doing it. So now let's say that Christina and Slava next to her want to host an open house. Well, let's go to our open house page, and there's a bunch more open house hosts. They go to the calendar. If it's brown, it's already happened or someone already has it. The green, all the ones on the right, we can see on the 11th, far right here, David Smith has an open house. Brad's got 1, 2, he's got 2. Joe Jack has got one, the Bez team has got one. They've got open houses that they would love for you to host at those times. So if Slava and whoever the other person I said, Christina, click on the Bez, just for the heck of it. They click on that one. It's gonna, and they just click one other button here. If they do that, on Betty Besmer's phone, it says, Slava say would like to hold your house open. Christina Sigarosky would like to hold your house open. When Betty clicks on Christina's, lets Christina know, you got this open house, and it even puts it on Christina's calendar. Now there's an accountability process. That open house is at 2 o'clock. If she shows up at 2:01, she should be there at 1:45 or earlier. If she shows up at 2:01, she's out of our program, because I need you to trust it. Yep.
Do we have to train them on?
No, because they go through James Selig's
So
open
I think
house.
she meant on the actual house.
Well, what I'm saying
If
is,
you, yes, if
they
there's
know
details,
to go on HAR and they know to,
that's the class they take.
okay, so
I
they
know that everyone
how
here
to-
knows
They know
that.
how to inform themselves to a point about the house, like.
If there's anything special, we need to tell them.
That's what you want to
Do they also
convey.
need, do they know to call CSS for showing instructions, or are they gonna expect me to give them showing instructions?
Well, we want the open house host, the lead agent, not the host, the lead agent who has the listing to provide any details that they want. Now, let's take a look at that. Thank you, that's a great
Put it in and
question.
see.
Yeah.
Betty
Sharon,
Besmer has,
That's what I did, like someone picked it and then you just call them and say,
And give all the
hey,
info.
the guard
It's
is
the best
this,
thing.
they upgraded
Okay.
this.
the alarm is this.
The alarm is this.
So you give them
But look,
everything, you
I
don't-
do just because, you wanna make sure it's done correctly. And
Okay.
so that they're comfortable, but they get balloons, they get their own signs, they do everything, when they show up. But, they can call CSS, but I would just call them and then just.
May I
help
give
them.
can I just ask a question so
Sure.
I fully understand?
That's what this is.
I've been using the associate post thing because of not knowing how to do this. And I had somebody say yes, that they wanted an open house. I turned down 3 other people. Yesterday, she goes over there and she said, oh, this isn't a gated community, I don't want it.
Her fault for not asking that, but she's
This
done it.
prevents that because then they'll be kicked out of the
Right.
thing.
Okay,
So you
yeah,
post it on here.
yeah,
No,
so that,
I've never,
we never-
I don't
well, that's
know
what we're
how to
doing
do
this.
this.
We don't have a login.
He's gonna show you.
Here's what's cool about this. Sharon was the catalyst for our meeting with you guys. She said, let's make this the best office. Let's make it culturally sound. I appreciate that. I don't know if you guys came, I know a few of you were here, to the meeting that we had a month ago. It was before Family Reunion. The reason you don't have a name of a bayou on here anymore is because of what came out of that meeting. It's like, hey, we don't want to be Bear Creek. We listened. Same thing here. We want to help you guys because I know it's tough. It's 4 miles that way to go to the other office, and you got busy lives. So hey, let's bring the class here. Here's what on this one, like Betty clicked that she wants. Oftentimes she clicks, I want a 7th level open house. What the heck is that? Well, if you go to the book Shift, they go into what a 7th level open house is on page 70. I require that you knock 100 doors. I require that you do balloons. Or Betty, this is a different person. But if she has that clicked, which she doesn't here, but she typically does, if you don't do that, you're out of the program. You better know what that is, and so they go over that in the class. Just so you know, if you're gonna do one, you gotta do what that person says. Jody Asana, I want you to use his signs. Okay, his signs, because he wants his branding. Well, look, I'm doing an open house. Then don't do Joe's open houses. That's okay. But what you do get is somebody that knows how to do an open house. You give them the extra details, but you're going to get someone who is accountable now. Right now, if they don't show up, like this girl, I can't say you're fired to her.
Oh, no.
I know some of you want.
I'll never let her do an open house.
That's saying this prevents
Right.
that. You don't
Well,
have to worry
in this
about-
program, it's like you're out of our program then.
Okay.
That's
And
why
so
I would go
You don't have to
here.
make that
So, but
person.
let me just ask you something. If that had happened on this program,
Then she's out of my program.
how do I tell you that?
Just that.
Oh, I say
The
to you,
lead
such
agents
and
are like,
such.
hey, now I go and I talk to her. Look, on the lady that was 4 minutes late for the other program, the showing agent, I talked with her. Like, was there some horrific thing? No, she was just late. Then you're out of my program for 90 days. Again, I need my lead agents to get it. That's on the other program we have.
And if they sign up for this and they can't do it, it's their responsibility to
Absolutely.
find somebody else to fill in their
But
slot.
what if
not
I
for
don't
the-
approve that
Well,
next person?
hold on, that's somebody else that's in the open house host program, but you still have the right to say, I
Oh,
want
Also the right to
there's
say
somebody
no
that's in
one,
here.
yourself or have someone else.
I don't want just any agent posting, come on, what does that look
Just
like?
trying to
If you
do
have
this
some goofballs, show it. Your clients assume that's a member of your team, and the standard has to be set high. So I need to know, I need feedback. And sometimes people don't want to give it to me because they're afraid of what I'm gonna do. No, we just have standards, and we have to
Yeah.
stick with
Okay.
those. So same thing here. If they click on it, that person's expected to be there on time, we want them there early. But if they go over 1 minute, that's hurting everybody. Now they're rushing to get the house set up and people are already starting to come in. That's not a good open house, not a good experience for your clients, and that's the end person we want to make sure we focus on. So you can see we got a lot of open houses available. We got this thing re-stimulated, and so don't ask somebody on the 8th, if you put it in on the 11th, don't plan on anybody showing up for it. Don't plan on an agent clicking on it, right? You gotta give some people some time to consider your open house. Now, there's a whole description that you can put in. Let's click on one, let's see the description. Okay, for Betty. Builder proudly presents this for me. Give some information in there. This is a great one to hold open because you're selling yourself to all of those open house agents. There's no what?
There's also a link to.
Yeah, okay, and then there's also space for a link to HAR. And guys, what happens if you put your open house in HAR on Tuesday? On Wednesday, it goes out to more than 10,000 other real estate agents. We have that service. So put it in on Tuesday, Wednesday's when it goes out, and it goes
Put
all
it in
to
by Tuesday, not on Tuesday.
when you buy Tuesday, not on Tuesday. Buy Tuesday. All right.
And then two, if you guys wanna host one, it's not, it doesn't say a button like add an open house, but you just click on the day you wanna host it. And then it'll tell you to enter all that stuff and then create open house.
So yeah, if you want to put one up, you
Yeah,
said
well,
post. I thought host.
Yeah.
If you want to post one, here's how you post it. So let's do that again, Brenda.
You click on a day.
You click on the day you want to do it. Again, you want to give them a week. And also when it goes in, we blast something out to all the open house hosts that this one has been added. So an email will go out.
So what happens if nobody picks it?
It happens, no one picks it. You're
And
toast.
you might wanna consider
Yeah.
looking at it.
I guarantee
Click on your
there'll
own.
be half of those at least on the right, on the 11th, that are not gonna get picked, and that's okay, right? But this is one more source. And as we do more, when I give away iPads, whoever does the most gets an iPad, gets a drawing for an iPad, more people will start going here instead of going outside of here. This one, we have control of standards. That's the most important thing, control of standards. Companies fall apart when they don't have standards. All right, so show me again, how do I put one in? If I wanted to put one in today, I got my username and password. We can do a fake one real quick. So, select an agent. Gotta pick an agent in here. Am I in here?
Is this my last name or is there no?
Top Welsh. All right, Michael Bosa. Okay, I'm on the 18th, it's fine. But it's not fine, I give him at least a week. 3 a.m.
I wanna change it to PM.
That's a different kind of open house, but you'll get that night shift. We have plenty of agents that are still up that time. Okay? Yeah, 3 hours, pretty typical. Now, if it's an area that doesn't allow signs, please put that in the comments if you know that. Okay, 1234 Main Street, zip code. And now she can put a link in HAR, obviously she doesn't have one, but you put a link in HAR, they can click on it, they can get the details of the property. Give them as much as they need. $100.
Only put it on screen.
Leave it in Northwest. Description, fake listing, do not click on it. Put that in there.
You can also create open house and repeat.
So open house and repeat, you got a property you want to keep on constantly, you click it and it'll do that same ad every week, same time. You want to make it easy. We added that recently.
I need a link.
You have to have a link?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You want to copy someone else's link? Can you just put my email or a link? I don't have a hard link for you,
Well, I
for a fake
can
property.
create one, but like on my computer.
Okay, because har.com, can you put that in? Thank you, missing description.
Fake.
Don't use this. Don't click on it. Remember, once they click on it, they do one other thing. We're gonna update it now.
There it is.
Oh, boom, there's my open house. So let's go ahead and click on it now as an open house user or
I can't
host.
do it. I can't open this in account.
Oh, let's see. Okay, I can't do my own open house. So anyone else in here that's approved could click on that and then I'll see the link come through, I'll approve you, and then it's now we have a commitment that you're gonna be there. Yes.
So when you create this and you're doing one for until the property sells, so you do the multiple open houses and it's got that link to MLS.
Uh-huh.
Once the home sells, will this automatically update and pull all the open houses out?
It doesn't know anything about it.
Okay, so
You've
you
gotta
have to
do
go
that.
in and remove.
Yeah. That's probably version 6.0 or something. We're not tied in at all with HAR, so it doesn't know. But it's a pretty cool program because again, you don't know who you're getting. You could be getting some psycho killer from our office that does this. You don't want that. And if they are bad, we just need to know about it because we gotta weed through people. Our qualifications take our class and unless we know they've done something bad, they're good. Pretty easy, guys? All right, very good. Anything else, Brenda? All right, so we emailed her and we got them on showing agent and on open house. If you did one, you get the other, and you can post.
So would today be too late since I had that mishap to get on there? Is it too late to do it for the week?
For this week, you could. I don't anticipate anybody will do it, but you certainly can.
Okay, so in other words, I need to try to do it the other way.
On Claire's, you can sign up yourself, but in
What do you say one more?
Howard's,
Well, for this week.
Associate.
I know it was bad. here's,
suggest a
hey,
week
hold
in
on.
advance.
Here's what you could, I mean,
So
you
put
could
'em
certainly
on
call
Monday.
these open house, or you
Can
could,
you send me an email?
hold on, do they get an email of all the open house hosts in there? Do they have access to an email, one email to say, hey guys, I got this great one, or?
I know that we do, but I don't know about the agents.
Sharon, tell you what, send me that property information. We have a link to all their emails, and they say, hey, this went bad, and it's a great property, give me a little description of it, and whatever
It's a
specific.
great property, it's priced at $239, so it's
Sure, I
like,
mean-
and when I did the open house, he had tons of showings. I tried to talk to
If
the
you can
young
put that
lady.
in the writing, because I'm not gonna talk to anybody, I'm gonna send
No,
an email
I
to
talked to
them.
the young lady that was over there,
You
and
can
she
send
just
an email, he'll
freaked out
put some
about
stuff
the
in for the
gated.
rest of it.
Right, and so I'm gonna leave that part out. Let's say.
No,
okay.
I'm just saying that I tried to help her through it to overcome that, and she
Sure.
couldn't overcome it.
Yeah, so if you should be great, I mean, this property, lots of showings last time we did, it. This is a property, you wanna get some buyers,
Okay.
post this one, and I got a link to all their email addresses, I'll
Okay.
shoot it to them saying, hey, consider this one this weekend as well.
But what, so do people look, like, should we put it in 2 weeks in advance? Should we put them in every Monday for the weekend? Like a
I
month
would
in
do,
advance?
yeah, and you know, we're still gonna, they're gonna wake up, we need to start putting some testimonials out there when someone says, oh my gosh, this was such a great open house, I'm glad I did KW open house host, and then we need to show that in the team meetings. It brings awareness, they're all getting an email, but you guys get inundated with emails already, right?
Yeah.
So, this is gonna take off again, it's gonna be huge, we did a rendition, we changed some things up, and now we're getting people using it again. I got a lot of good hosts though.
It's at 8, so they already have stuff all the way for the weekend after.
Good?
Yeah, that
All
was
right.
very helpful.
Thank you.
So the Players Market metrics, we feel good about that one, that's a huge one. Load up today your power lister, get ready so that when someone calls you to do a presentation, you're ready to go if you're not already have a great presentation. This one's pretty strong, and like I've got people like Wendy Klein using most of the data in there, she's got more listings than anybody.
Michael,
Yes.
I'm doing a huge listing presentation tomorrow, and I'm going up against Diane Pink in the Woodlands, and I
It's
know,
just her, because her
yeah,
staff is gone.
I know, everybody's gone. But although we did the matrix yesterday, which was one, did I say it clear?
What?
Matrix, that's a whole other thing.
No, the
How did you know
clear
about
is-
that?
Yeah, we were just doing the
Yeah, we
clearance,
just
yeah.
did this. Anyway, but there's some houses that realtors didn't put in correctly in the H&R.
Yeah.
How,
Nothing you can do,
It's
There's
just
just
across
nothing.
from Mara. You can
okay,
certainly add that when you're going over the description, you're talking about Claris.
Yeah,
yes.
So if they don't key it in right, it doesn't get put in there and factored in.
Well, they put Carlton Woods Creekside.
We looked at it, yeah.
It's supposed
Well, no, you just include them both. It is in there.
Yeah,
There's
but-
22 properties in Carlton Woods, including Creekside, and Carlton Woods is actually listed twice because somebody didn't key in the subdivision right.
Yeah.
But you can include them all.
Okay.
We had them all up, that's we used that.
with the rest of
Okay.
it, so there's not a lot of stuff.
So we-
Anything else, guys? Go use this for good.
Thanks, man.
Our pleasure.
Where can you get, for listing presentations and everything like that, the energy quarter binders?
Do we have EC specific binders already? No roar and.
Yeah, I think
I remember-
we sent
Team
several
told me that they were gonna-
stuff to
they
Trish.
were waiting to see.
Yeah, I kinda remember Trish leaving a sample out, but I mean, is it still,
So far they haven't.
Trish
they have it in
thing.
the product? Okay, I'll ask
Yeah,
Trish.
she would know, yeah, those, the inventory on those, but I know we're getting other ones that we just.
We do Sundays too, but
Okay.
we're
I think it's just
corporate.
take that.
We don't really do Saturdays.
They're just get everything.
Yeah, they're.
If you wanna do Saturday, that's fine, but
Really? I'm sure,
And I
I
probably
swear
did
I saw it
200
in the
open
quarter on
houses
it,
on
I
my
might
line
be
Sundays,
wrong.
always
Their
way
team is
better.
doing
I was dreaming.
open house hosting.
Figures.
I mean, we have
Or
3
something.
to 10 open houses every weekend, it
Yeah.
just depends. So,
What's that? What do y'all,
I can't do all of them.
You wish you could.
No, I
You
just
love
don't
it.
wish I
Thank
could.
you.
A
No, the,
staggering amount.
it's just like,
I don't like to do the vacant ones because there's no internet or
Too, Brandon.
yeah,
When there's no furniture, it's harder to.
He knows, he sits with.
I know.
I know, I've got that. I come and I'm
Very pretty.
showing her how to do open house. We set these open houses without Wi-Fi or something like
I
that.
just emailed
Well, you
her.
can do a Wi-Fi hotspot for your phone.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
it's just like when it's empty,
Hi.
so you can see the flaws in the house a lot more.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it's one of our listings, I like to do furniture and everything, and it's less
We like
UC.
furnished units.
So it just makes it a little easier.
I saw them, I got some more,
If
yeah.
y'all,
He has the
Don's
inside
a
on those
really
that are
good.
not, so, that are not outstanding.
Y'all need anybody
one or
for
the other.
an open
How you
house?
doing?
So I'll look at them right
Nice
now.
Yeah.
neighborhood,
And then
friendly.
for,
I love my cards in the.
So she ordered a bunch, she said, and it was like a fish frenzy. And she just doled them out and people like looked on how much they owed and, she's gonna order more, so it'll take about 3 weeks.
this Friday.
So I guess you guys did have some over
Yeah,
here.
it'll be here.
Yeah, I swear I saw it.
What's this guy's name that's doing the thing over at the other office?
Yeah, next Friday.
I don't know, he's good.
The analyst.
Working near.
He's from the A&M Center?
Yeah, he's an Aggie, so take it. with you.
Yeah, okay, so hand sign.
I just know he was really
Yeah, it
good.
wasn't.
His predictions have come to the bold fruition over the years.
Yeah.
This guy, he sits on a massive analytic pile of
Oh, he's a
real estate
nerd.
stuff.
A&M has got the best data on Texas.
Yeah.
We have a couple minutes, we don't have covered, and if you want. Yeah, give me a couple minutes.
When I started business her about, I'm riding by
Great,
the.
did you contact that
Did
person?
Grace to see?
I did, she wanted
You're doing your Lansing for me.
Yeah.
Oh, you're in middle? Okay. So are you still thinking
And I told Garrett, so he's already sending people your way, we haven't started, very great.
Yeah.
Is he out of the PPR, if someone is doing their.
And going over to the other office.
Say that has all the.
Is anyone, that is?
That was the last time. I'm Dawn. Dawn, nice to meet you.
Alright, Howard.
We sit in Katie now, but. Yeah. Had told me. Yeah.
He met a girl named Sue.
Solution around her.
It's like that all the time. I know. Socks.
Oh, yeah. She's backing out. You wanna, this is another dynamo listing. They always have
Lots of open houses.
So this is Dawn Kerr. Is very good at serving the house, timely, all. So if y'all really.
But she, okay, yeah, I'll send it. Yeah, that's normal. Thanks for the trouble. Instead of like this, I'll get that.
Yeah, anytime, man. Thank you.
So. Okay, but I'll do joints.
She's gonna.
Okay, I know that it's the MD team has one.
Well, and I was, there was a crash here that bulged the lamp will come out. I was just.
Nice to meet you.
Low dog, I put some, plastics underneath. Also, I mean, I don't remember what really happened, but also. I was like 7 feet up the ladder. But,
Oh my God, you're
yeah,
lucky, that's all.
his driving, I used to be crazy. That's me, I knew not to mess with him. So I'm not messing, I'm just gonna.
I got a new acquisition. I've got
Put the bolt back in or to hold in place until.
I don't know what it's called. It's like a log form.
That's all I'm gonna do.
One of these like things that you see the policeman say, okay, you over there, you're
Well, at least I was going over the
a mega horn.
Use that bracket as a soft plate.